The first time the nurse saw the Mafia boss cry. He was sitting alone on the floor of a hospital hallway. His expensive suit soaked with rain. His hands trembling like those of a frightened child. "Please," he whispered, staring at the closed operating room doors. "Take anything. My money. My house. My life." Then he looked at the nurse standing nearby. "Sleep beside me," he said desperately. "I'll pay whatever you ask." The nurse froze. For a moment, the entire hospital seemed to go silent. She had heard rumors about Daniel Moretti long before she ever met him. People said he owned half the city. People said politicians answered his calls. People said men disappeared after crossing him. And people said that if Daniel Moretti ever looked at you with those cold gray eyes, you should pray he was in a good mood. But none of those stories prepared her for the men sitting on the hospital floor. He didn't look dangerous. He looked broken. Maya Bennett tightened her grip around the clipboard in her hands. "Mr. Moretti," she said carefully, "you need to get up." He didn't move. "My daughter is in there." "I know. They said she might not make it." "I know." His eyes lifted toward hers. For the first time, Maya saw what fear looked like on a powerful man. "I can't lose her," he whispered. Maya had been a nurse for 9 years. She had watched people die. She had held hands during final breaths. She had comforted mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, and children while doctors fought battles that sometimes could not be won. But something about Daniel Moretti's voice made her heart ache. Because beneath the money, the violence, the reputation, and the terrifying power, he was just a father. And his little girl was fighting for her life. "Your daughter is in good hands," Maya said. Daniel laughed bitterly. "Good hands. That's what people say when they don't know what else to tell you." Maya glanced at the operating room doors. "Her name is Sophia, right?" His expression changed. "You remember. I was the nurse who admitted her. She was scared. She was brave. She asked for me. She asked for her father." Daniel lowered his head. "And I wasn't there." Maya studied him. That was the first thing she didn't understand. The hospital had received Sophia after a serious car accident. Her injuries were severe, but the doctors had moved quickly. Daniel had arrived less than 20 minutes later with a convoy of black SUVs and enough security to make the entire emergency department nervous. Yet now he sat on the floor, blaming himself. "What happened?" Maya asked softly. Daniel's jaw tightened. "She called me." Maya said nothing. "She called me 3 times that night." His voice cracked. "I was in a meeting. A meeting. A business meeting." He stared at the operating room doors. "She left a voicemail. I didn't listen to it until after the accident." Maya's heart tightened. "What did she say?" Daniel swallowed. "She said, 'Daddy, I had a bad dream. Can you come home?'" The hallway seemed colder. "I didn't go," he whispered. Maya didn't know what to say. Sometimes there were no words strong enough to repair a person's regret. So she sat down beside him. Daniel looked at her. "What are you doing?" "Waiting." "With me?" "Yes." "You don't have to." "I know." He stared at her for several seconds. Then he looked away. For the next 2 hours, neither of them said much. Maya checked the surgical updates. Daniel remained beside her. Every time the operating room doors opened, he stood so quickly that his chair nearly fell backward. Every time it wasn't the doctor, his face collapsed again. At 3 a.m, Maya found him asleep against the wall. He looked exhausted. Without thinking, she removed the thin blanket from a nearby chair and placed it over his shoulders. When he woke, his eyes immediately searched for her. "Where is Sophia?" "Still in surgery." He nodded. Then he looked down at the blanket. "Did you do that?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because you were cold." Daniel stared at her as if she had spoken another language. "What do you want?" Maya frowned. "Excuse me." "Money." A favor. A promotion. Whatever it is. I don't want anything. No one does something for free. Maya looked at him. I do. Something flickered in his eyes. Maybe confusion. Maybe pain. Maybe disbelief. You're strange, he said. I've been called worse. For the first time that night, Daniel almost smiled. Then the operating room doors opened. A surgeon stepped out. Daniel shot to his feet. Maya stood with him. The doctor removed his mask. She made it through surgery. Daniel closed his eyes. A sound escaped him. Not a sigh. Not a breath. A sob. He covered his face with both hands. Maya watched as the most feared men in the city broke apart in front of her. Then he turned away from the doctor and walked several steps toward the window. His shoulders shook. Maya followed. She didn't touch him. She simply stood beside him. After a moment, Daniel whispered, "Thank you. She isn't out of danger yet." "I know. But she's alive." He nodded. "She is." Then he looked at Maya. "Why didn't you leave?" Maya shrugged. "Because you were alone. I have hundreds of people." "That's not the same thing." Daniel said nothing. Those words stayed with him. The next morning, Sophia was moved to intensive care. Daniel refused to leave the hospital. He slept in a chair beside her bed. He ate nothing. He barely spoke. Maya was not assigned to Sophia's room every day, but she kept checking in. She noticed the little things. Daniel didn't know how to braid his daughter's hair. He didn't know which stuffed animal she liked best. He didn't know that Sophia hated apple juice but loved orange juice. He knew the price of everything in the world. But he didn't know the small details of his daughter's life. And that realization seemed to destroy him. One afternoon, Sophia woke up. Her eyes opened slowly. "Daddy." Daniel leaned over her immediately. "I'm here." She looked at him. "You came home." Daniel froze. Maya stood near the door. Sophia had no idea how deeply those words cut him. "Yes," he whispered. "I waited." "I know." "Are you going to leave again?" Daniel's face crumpled. "No." He took her hand. "Never again." Maya quietly stepped out of the room. She thought that would be the end of her connection with Daniel Moretti. She was wrong. 3 weeks later, Maya was walking through the hospital parking garage after a late shift. When she heard footsteps behind her, she turned. Daniel stood several feet away. He wore no expensive suit. Just a dark coat. "You scared me," she said. "I apologize." "What do you want?" He held out a small envelope. Maya didn't take it. "What is that?" "A thank you." "No." His expression tightened. "You don't even know how much is inside." "I don't care. It could pay your salary for 10 years. I said no. Daniel stared at her. "You sat beside me all night. Because you needed someone. You stayed. Because your daughter needed her father. I offered you anything. And I refused." "Why?" Maya sighed. "Because kindness isn't a business transaction." Daniel looked down. "I don't understand that." "I know." For several seconds, neither spoke. Then Daniel said, "I want to understand." Maya studied him. "Then start with your daughter." "I am." "No. Start with the things that don't cost money." His brow furrowed. "Like what?" "Learn her favorite food." "I know her favorite food." Maya raised an eyebrow. Daniel hesitated. "She likes pasta." "She hates pasta." His face fell. "She does." Maya smiled despite herself. "She likes grilled cheese sandwiches. Cut diagonally. Not straight across." Daniel stared at her. "How do you know that?" "Because I asked her." He nodded slowly. "Diagonally." "Exactly." A few weeks later, Daniel Moretti walked into a small diner wearing a baseball cap and carrying a lunchbox. Maya happened to be there. She nearly choked on her coffee. "What are you doing here?" "Buying grilled cheese." "Why?" "Sophia said yours are better." Maya stared at him. "You're making grilled cheese?" "I tried." "How bad was it?" "Fire alarm." Maya laughed. It was the first time Daniel had heard her laugh. And something changed. Not suddenly. Not magically. But slowly. Daniel began spending more time with Sophia. He learned her favorite songs. He attended her school events. He learned that she hated thunderstorms and loved old movies. He learned that she wanted to become a veterinarian. And little by little, he began changing himself. He walked away from parts of his criminal empire. He closed businesses that had been built on fear. He paid debts owed to people his organization had exploited. His men didn't understand. The city didn't understand. But Daniel did. He had spent his entire life believing that power meant making people afraid. Then one night in a hospital hallway, a nurse had shown him something stronger. A person could have millions of dollars and still be completely alone. And sometimes the greatest gift anyone could give was simply refusing to walk away. A year after Sophia's accident, Daniel invited Maya to a small family celebration. There were no bodyguards inside. No politicians. No wealthy businessmen. Just Sophia, a few friends, and a cake that was slightly crooked. Maya stood near the table as Sophia ran toward her. "Nurse Maya." Maya hugged her. "You look wonderful." "So do you." Daniel approached them. He looked different now. Still powerful. Still serious. But softer. Sophia took Maya's hand. "Daddy says you saved his life." Maya glanced at Daniel. "I saved your life?" Daniel looked embarrassed. "I may have said something like that." Maya smiled. "I didn't save your life." "Yes, you did," he said quietly. She shook her head. "No. You saved yourself." Daniel looked at her for a long moment. Then he said, "Maybe. But you showed me where to start." Sophia tugged at Maya's hand. "Come on. We have cake." Maya followed her. Daniel watched them go. For years, he had believed that love was something people demanded. Something they bought. Something they protected with violence. But his daughter had taught him otherwise. Love was showing up. Love was listening. Love was learning how someone liked their sandwich cut.